Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Soul Stories with Kate Ingersoll Mazeris, and welcome to Taurus season. If you were born between April 21st and May 20th, this is your time to shine. In the last video that I did, we talked about the soul story of Aries, and now we're going to continue that journey into Taurus. So if you have a sun in Taurus, a rising sign in Taurus, a moon in Taurus, or any significant planets, the personal planets from Mercury through Saturn, this will be a video that you can find meaning to understand a little bit more about how the Taurian energy works. So let's take a look at the main quote for Taurus. It says, I seek myself through what I have. And remember, those words, myself, mean my soul or my essence. And so if Aries is just seeking the self, once we know who we are, then we're going to look around and say, well, what's mine in this human world? And that's what Taurus energy asks us to do. What is ours in this tangible world? So as you take a look at the bottom right-hand corner, the glyph or the little symbol for Taurus looks like a bull's head. And as we know, the Taurus energy is symbolized by the bull. But as we take a look at the next slide, it's going to explain this glyph a little more. We'll get to that in just a second. So of course, Taurus is represented by the bull. This energy is fixed earth. So we started in the zodiacal year with cardinal fire, cardinal meaning the first sign of the zodiac in the season. Then the next one, or the sign that's right in the middle of the season, is always fixed. And so the elements of the signs go fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. So first came fire in Aries, now we are in earth with Taurus. This is a feminine sign, and it is ruled by the planet Venus. And I'm going to talk about the two different kinds of Venus that you'll find in Taurian energy. My first astrologer, who became a good friend, her name was Sue Lovett, and she always used to say that frenetic energy of Aries can be so fast moving and kind of chaotic sometimes. Taurus says, settle down, plant a tree. So if the Aries season was a little intense, which it was for me, especially when we got closer to that superstellium on April 17th, now things are going to start to solidify and become more grounded. The glyph, or the symbol for Taurus, represents a full moon. That's the round part. And then the crescent is on the top, that little half moon. It represents a cup gathering energy, just like the earth gathers energy this time of year so that things can grow. And of course, it is represented by the bull. During the time of year when Taurus takes place, animals and plant babies are very young. The sun is dominant and increasing, and it only increases more and more and more during Taurian season. If Aries is the most masculine of all the signs, Taurus is the most feminine and the earthiest of all the signs. The other two earth signs are Virgo and Capricorn, and they have an earthiness to them, but not like Taurus. Think about what your garden is like during Taurian season. Everything is bursting forth with life. Taurus energy uses the decomposed energy from last autumn for new growth, and this is the Scorpio-Taurus axis. In future videos, I'll be talking about those in greater detail. But if you go back to the video that I did on Scorpio, you can find it on my YouTube channel. It is a wonderful counterpoint for Taurus. If Taurus did not have that decomposition from last fall, it wouldn't have the food for growth now. As a gardener, I never ever clean up my garden until the nights are consistently 50 degrees and over, because I know that what was decomposing last fall and what was nesting in there all winter is still growing, beneficial insects and caterpillars and things like that. So I always leave that alone so that that new life can come forward once the earth has warmed up enough. The energy of Taurus is very strong, but it can be slow to act outside of personal desire. That's why I chose this picture of a person speaking to a brick wall. That's what talking to Taurus, especially people who have Moon in Taurus or Mercury in Taurus, a lot of times they are very difficult to move. They think that they're right because this is the way it's always been, and that's the way it's always gonna be. So they can be a little stubborn, like Taurus, like a bull, right? I have a cat. I knew her birthday, so just for fun, I did her chart. She has 5 things in Taurus: Sun, rising, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. She even looks like a little bull. She snorts like a bull when she doesn't get her way. And she is very slow to act outside of personal desire. She usually gets what she wants. The Taurian energy is concentrated. It's a concentrated life force. So sometimes this can make them lazy and conservative. A lot of times they'll say, well, I'll believe that when I see it. You got to show me the money, in other words. A lot of times, because the earth is not in its full growth cycle yet, it can take a little bit of time to get them to move, to get things started, because they like to just kind of sit and wait for the slow process of earth to awaken them. There are many archetypes for the Taurian energy. The Venusian Taurus is, think of a person that's beautiful, graceful, and magnetic. Like the image that comes to mind are the elves from Lord of the Rings, are the Venusian Taurus. Like Venus rules Taurus, so and Libra, but it's a little different. The beautiful, graceful, magnetic energy is more like live, fairy, elemental. And then you have the earthy archetype, which is a little more stocky, strong, and sensitive to emotions. Think, not that Sophia Loren was stocky, but that kind of earthy, beautiful beauty. A lot of times when someone says that a woman is very handsome, it doesn't mean she's masculine. It means she's a little more earthy. Other archetypes for Taurus are the mother, because of the time of year when everything is being given birth, the lover, because of the Venus influence, the builder, the sensualist. And sensuality is not necessarily sexuality, although they do overlap. But sensuality is like enjoying a wonderful meal or enjoying decorating a home, the feel of beautiful clothing. Like I love waking up in the morning in my warm, comfy, soft bed, and I'll just lay there in that comfort for 5 or 10 minutes before I get up. That's a sensual experience for me, is to lie there in peace and calm and stillness. Um, but it also, the Taurus energy on the reverse side, the shadow of it is the miser, the shadow conservative, the conservative who will hold energy to their own detriment and certainly to the detriment of others. Think Ebenezer Scrooge was the ultimate miser, the shadow conservative, thinking that their perspective is right because it serves only them. Like they don't see the broader strokes, they don't see the bigger picture, they don't see other people's life experiences. And so the conservative mindset can be very judgmentally harsh. So people who have like a Taurus sun, a Mercury in Taurus, or Mars in Taurus, you got to watch out for that because you need to see the bigger picture. Stop being the brick wall and start seeing other people's life experiences. So the Taurus soul journey, the main thrust of the Taurus soul journey is to release attachment to matter and desire so that divine presence and energy can be present in all things. So when we release attachment to matter and desire, it doesn't mean we disconnect from it. Detachment is not the same as disconnection. So here's an example. Like I've lived in this same house for 35 years. Everything in it I've brought in. I've redecorated this home. I've taken care of the gardens. It's a beautiful home. It's a brick home. I mean, it's very Taurian. I have a North Node in Taurus, so I've built my energy towards stability. But I found the longer I live here, the less attached I am to this house because I know that wherever I go, I take this energy with me because divine energy is present in all things. mostly in us, in humanity, in the animals that we live amongst, in our gardens, in the elemental world. Divine energy is everywhere. So I don't have to get attached to this one house or to all my stuff in this house because everywhere I go can be divine. So Taurus energy takes on a physical body. So you might want to look at, if you don't have anything in Taurus in your chart, look which house is ruled by Taurus. This is the part of you in your human life that is learning certain lessons. So like, just for example, let's say your seventh house is ruled by Taurus. Let's say you're a Scorpio rising and you've got Taurian energy on the opposite side in that seventh house. Part of your life lesson in this physical world, in this human body, is to have relationships with other people on a human level. Let's say conversely, your Taurus energy is in the third house. This is where you've taken on the human experience to speak, to teach, to learn, to grow in a way of healthy communication in the human realm. So Taurus energy, wherever it is in your chart, is very fertile and receptive, like the earth is right now. It's a very fertile time. It receives the rain and the sunshine and the elements so that it can create growth. It roots the seed from Aries, and it wants to root it because strong roots create healthy growth. It takes that Aries life force and gives it form. Aries doesn't give it form, Taurus does. Aries gives it the spark and the impetus, but Taurus gives it the physical dimension. So Taurus is related to the physical body. And for those of you that especially might have Chiron in Taurus or significant Taurus in your life, you may have experienced physical abuse because you need to learn healing through the physical body, through the part of you that is here and tangible. So this is more of, someone who's been beaten, someone who's been sexually assaulted, someone who has had multiple injuries, maybe multiple accidents, because you have to heal physically. The purpose of healing physically is part of your soul growth. Taurus rules the neck, the throat, and the shoulders. Think about it like the big, strong neck of a bull that can carry a lot. The challenge with Taurus is to learn to not carry too much. Taurus can be slow to respond and resistant to change because it seeks stability. And stability is a great thing. There's nothing wrong with having a stable home life, financially, financial stability. Those are fabulous. But when they get to the point where you become obsessively controlled over maintaining status quo out of fear, that's when it gets a little itchy. You have to really be mindful of not being so rigid. So the good thing is that the Taurian energy is also warm, reliable, patient, loving, and determined. I always say if you want someone to manage your money for the now like a banker, choose a Taurus. If you want someone who knows how to build a home, choose a Taurus. If you want someone to take care of your children, choose a Taurus. That's one sign that it's really good with children because they're patient, loving, and they're determined to continue doing what's healthy and what's stable over time. They can be really good at boundary setting. It just depends. Sometimes they come into the world not having good boundaries, but they can harness that Taurus energy in order to create those. Taurus energy needs to learn flexibility, compassion, and open-mindedness. And when we talk about the Scorpio-Taurus axis, that's where I'll show you how that Scorpio energy can feed into that Taurus to bring more water, more emotional insight. And I think that's one way that Taurus energy can heal is through allowing emotional energy to move through it. Emotions are represented by water, and earth without water it becomes a drought. So that's why we want to encourage Taurus to be receptive, to have balance in earth and water both. I love this quote. It says, "Nature reveals to us a beautiful part of ourselves we could not find anywhere else." I often say to my yoga students that the closest thing that I have come to understand about what is the divine, what is God here on our planet Earth, is to watch nature. And I'm going to put a link in the description below to a wonderful film that I watched on Canopy. That's a free app you can get through your library system. Um, I'm I'm having a little brain fart right now, but it'll be in the description below. I think it's called Inner Body, Outer Worlds. And it talks about how nature reveals divine creation through fractals and the fractal patterns of flowers, of pine cones, of a tortoise shell, and how our bodies create the fractal energy just through existing. And that is a divine expression of Taurus, I think, in motion. If you get a chance to watch any of the Artemis 2 recordings from their experience in space, particularly when they did the lunar flyby, and their commentary about looking back at planet Earth, I highly recommend it. It helps us to see that this home that we live on, this Mother Earth, is so Taurean. It is our tangible home. We are stewards of this planet and stewards of ourselves. So let's celebrate Taurus season. Plant something that's meaningful to you. Enjoy this beautiful time of year. And I'll see you at our next video when I talk about the Gemini soul journey. Have a great day, everybody.